Hello, my dears. Daniela here, and welcome to another episode of the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I've got a wonderful episode for you today, a wonderful interview. I'm chatting with Denise Fuller, who is the founder of NASNPRO, the National Aesthetic Spa Network, which is an amazing free resource for estheticians. So NASNPRO membership is free. You get tons of discounts on products, services, so many different things to help you run your business. And they put on these amazing events all across the country. This is their 15th year that they've been in business. And, I wanted to bring her on. I wanted to interview her to kind of highlight the work that she's doing as an amazing free resource for estheticians. And we kind of got into this longer conversation about life and connection and community and so many different things about really like the type of person that you're being, how you have to be to show up as a successful business owner and what success means to you, how you define that for yourself. So it's a really interesting interview, but I want you guys to keep that in mind as you're listening. I want you to think about, what do you want? What is it that you want? How do you see your ideal life? What does success mean to you? If you're just going through the motions, if you don't have a destination of where you want to go, you will never get there. Sorry, but that is the hard truth. You can't just go day by day by day. You can't see the forest through the trees if you're just right in there. So it's a great interview. I love Denise. She's doing so many amazing things for our industry. And make sure you pay attention. I am 99.9% sure that I'll be going to the July 22nd event in Boston. I love Boston. All of my Boston girls, please come and see me at this event. I've just got to make sure that my family is taken care of, that I can leave for that amount of time. But I'm pretty sure it will work. I want to give you guys all a hug. I want to know how I can support you. I want to know how, what you're doing in business, how I can help. So please, please, please put it on your radar. Save that date. Okay, you guys, enjoy the interview. Be sure to sign up for your free membership if you haven't already. And let's go ahead and play that interview. All right, Denise, so happy to have you here on the podcast. I've been wanting to have you on here for a long time, so I'm so glad we could make this work. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Daniela, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So for those of you listening, Denise and I actually met about 4 or 5 years ago, I think we were saying. And we just hopped on the phone. We found each other through social media. I was like, oh my gosh, what is the National Aesthetic Spa Network? This is amazing. And for those of you who don't know what it is, we've got the links below this video. It is a network. It is a community. It is a resource for estheticians to build your business, to connect with one another. And Denise and I connected so well because we really share that same mission of elevating the spa industry as a whole. And we just kind of go about it in 2 different ways. So do you want to tell a little bit about the National Aesthetic Spa Network, just to...
Absolutely. Thank you, Daniela. Yeah. Well, we call it NASNPRO for short. And like Daniela said, that's a mouthful. National Aesthetic Spa Network. Yes. And, we started this, myself and Janet McCormick, 15 years ago. And it was just basically came out of a conversation over the phone, 2 estheticians lamenting how we don't have the time at trade shows to really connect with other estheticians or with our colleagues. Because when you go to a trade show, you're on a mission. You're either making certain that you're buying your products or you are rushing to a classroom. And it's a hustle and a bustle, and it has a different energy or a vibe to it. Definitely needed. I'm not saying don't go to a trade show by any means, but 15 years ago, it was very different to being able to connect to your fellow esthetician or spa professional. There was no social media. So I couldn't just get up on Facebook and say, hey, I'm going to go connect with Daniela. I had to really search out those experts in our industry. Mm-hmm. So Janet kind of asked me, she goes, well, do something about it. Don't just complain about the problem. Are you going to be the problem, or are you going to be the problem solver?
She sounds like my kind of woman.
Oh, I love that. She is a force to contend. She's been in the industry almost 40 years. She's a Sedesco diplomat, and she's up there. And she's definitely an industry icon, and she has been my mentor for over 20 years. And let me tell you, if you need someone to kick you in the pants, she's your girl, because she does not mince words at all.
I love it. I love it.
So I went, okay. And I'm like, well, I'll do it if you'll do it. And she goes, okay. So we met at the Daytona International Aesthetic and Cosmetology Academy. And we only had 12 estheticians show up in this round table, no vendors. And it was just the opportunity to say, hey, what's going on in your treatment room? How do you deal with this problem? Or who are you? You know, I'm from Port St. Lucie, Janet's from Frostproof, Florida, and you're from Daytona Beach. Like, what is going on, and what's happening in your neck of the woods? So the idea was to do this every month. Well, that got to be a little bit lofty because Janet was traveling and she was an educator. I had my business. I was doing distribution at the time, and of course my children were little. So we kind of brought it back to once a quarter. And this was all just in Florida. No dues, no fees, just come on and let's have a chat. Mm-hmm. And from there, I started to receive phone calls from other estheticians and professionals saying, hey, can I join you? I was like, well, why not? They're like, well, your name is the Florida Aesthetic Network. Isn't it just for Floridians? And I was like, oh. I guess you could come down. You're from Georgia or Arkansas or Pennsylvania. Come on down, join us. So we changed the name to the National Aesthetic Spa Network. Then we started getting requests for even more education. And it just has grown very grassroots until today in 2019. We have almost 12,000 members, international. And I always go back and go, we are still at the core of our mission because we wanted to give it away for free, complimentary membership. Again, no dues, no fees in that membership. And when you become, well, what does that mean? Well, I'll be honest, 10 years ago when people are like, well, I'm a NASNPRO member, what does that mean? I'm like, just raise your right hand, say, I love NASNPRO, you're a member. Well, that really wasn't enough. So now we have certificates, we have a bazillion, not maybe a bazillion, but we have a lot of member rewards, discounts to hotels, car rentals. One of, I think, everyone's favorite is our Office Depot discount on printing, where you can get black and white copies, I think, for 8 cents and color copies for 22 cents. Last time I did my copies for the IECES show in Chicago, it was about $800. It brought it down to $200. And wow. I just showed them the NASNPRO Office Depot card. And again, that was free. And that's a wonderful benefit. Plus, we also have a $1,000 business grant in 2019. And then on top of all of that, we have 11 conferences around the United States that we are giving education. And as a member, you get about anywhere from a $30 to a $40 discount, depending on the location. I wish we could have everybody be at $49, but Boston, it's expensive.
Well, and your events are not expensive events. It's not like, even if the members are getting discounts, it's still not like this astronomical price to go. It's very affordable for estheticians at all levels. And that's really, the events are one of the things that I think are the most powerful that you do, because I love the world of online and social media and all of that, because, technology allows us to have this conversation like this with me.
And how we met.
Yeah. But there's nothing like meeting in person and having that connection. And I feel like relationships on social media are made that much stronger if you can meet someone, at a event or trade show or wherever. And, I think back to when I my first, right out of school, I was a solo. And that, there's good and bad to that. But
Absolutely.
I did not learn from I was just like, school, figure it out yourself. And after I closed my solo practice, I started working at the Grand Wailea, a Spa Grande, like a very big resort spa.
Yep, I know.
And there were tons of estheticians. And it was amazing to be, I always want to be the dumbest person in the room. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. And so when I was surrounded by all these other women who knew so much more than me, it was amazing. And I was just like, wow. So having, the ability to connect with others in our community at events like this, form relationships, have someone to talk to for the ups and downs of the, entrepreneurial roller coaster that we go on.
And even if you are on a team, if you are at that big resort, because just like you, I worked at PGA National, which is a 5-star resort in Palm Beach. And, we had several estheticians on the team. But once you walk into that treatment room, it's just you and your client. And so those walls, sometimes it can be very deafening. Or if you make a mistake, you may not want to have your person on your team. No, I was very fortunate because I had older, seasoned estheticians that took me underneath their wing. They saw me as this 24-year-old, little girl esthetician going, oh, my child, she needs help. And I did. Sometimes I still think after 25 years, Janet McCormick still looks at me and goes, child, you need help. But, that's part of mentoring. And, so again, sometimes, even when you're working in a team, it can be very lonely too. So if you don't, because sometimes it can be catty in that team, unfortunately. They're not always out for your best interest. But, this is why NASNPRO is there for you, to give you some really good resources. We do not partner with multi-level marketing companies. Not because, and I don't want you to get a whole bunch of emails as to why, Daniela. No. But I believe that as a licensed esthetician, we need to protect that, and we need to preserve the integrity of our license. And if I have a neighbor that's unlicensed selling a product, that devalues me. So, and we can talk about diversion and whatnot, but there's still so many great professional lines that are very supportive to the esthetician and to that spa, whether it's a resort or a day spa, that you can partner with. The other thing about our conferences that I think is really sweet and I love is that when you walk in, not only are you greeted, you're welcome, but that lunch is included. So you might be saving, think about the last time you went to a trade show. How much was that Coke? How much was that water bottle? How much was that lunch that, by the time, and then add on the parking? Just those incidentals might have cost you $100. That might be that $100 that you can use towards purchasing product or purchasing maybe an online course that you need. So with each event, every decision is really made in mind for the esthetician and the spa professional.
So I know you said, how many did you say, 13 events?
Well,
a lot.
Yes. On paper at 2 a.m., it sounded like a wonderful idea to do 15 events for our 15-year anniversary. And yes,
that's like a marketer's dream.
Exactly. And let me tell you, at 2 a.m., it was a great idea on paper. Now trying to execute, I'm kind of going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but we're halfway through, and we do have some really wonderful events. Our upcoming event our next one is going to be in June 10th in Nashville, and which is the weekend of the CMA. So we're all hoping to maybe see a really handsome cowboy in Nashville. Then June 24th is Seattle, Washington. But if you go to our website, which I know, Danielle, you said you'd put them down there.
Yeah, we'll put out all the links for people to get their free membership, all their discounts and information about the shows as well.
I mean, there's no reason why anyone can't go to an event, because we literally have an event this year in the region, anywhere from, like I said, Nashville, Seattle, Colorado, Orange County, California, Dallas, Texas, and Secaucus, New Jersey. And our Secaucus, New Jersey is a half-day event. We're giving all proceeds to the Susan G. Komen Foundation, because we're going to be speaking and bringing in experts on oncology. And so it's a little bit different than our full day conference, but we partnered with Reposage. They've opened up their headquarters in Secaucus, and I just think it's going to be another impactful day for anyone that attends.
So how long, you said there's a half day conference and a full day conference. What are the general, I'm sure they're probably different at different locations, but is this like a 8 to 5 kind of thing, or
the full day conferences are 9 to 5, and then the half day is 12:30 to 4. So it's almost think you're getting like a little bit of a bite size of NASNPRO event. And
so, I know that you have speakers at these events. I know, so it's an opportunity to network, and it's also an opportunity to get some education.
Mm-hmm. It is. And we try to get a mix of truly that vendor neutral education. So even if a vendor is speaking, you're not going to get that QVC commercial. They are talking about the latest ingredients. They are talking about technology, not XYZ product. And then someone else, like for example, in Nashville, I have Julie R coming in. She is a herbalist, a essential aromatherapy practitioner for over 40, again, another 40 years. And she's going to be talking about how to quiet mind chatter, not just for yourself, but for your client, and to set a space for sanctuary and peace. And she's going to be giving some tools and tips. She's not, and she's an educator. She has no affiliation to any product line. And so that's really nice. We also have the first esthetician in Tennessee that has sitting on the board of cosmetology, and that's Mona Sappenfield. So we have some just, again, really unique educators. I have a professor coming in from Bastyr University in Seattle talking about CBDs. So we really try to bring what's relevant and what you can use in your practice and business.
That's wonderful. So one thing I want to ask you, before we started recording this, we were having this awesome conversation about social media and connection, and how your social media really is, there are people out there. Mm-hmm. And, for my listeners, for those of you that have been following me and following along, I shared that I had a miscarriage and on March 8th, and that was a big deal for me. I went through a lot of emotional stress, a lot of emotional, just kind of shut down to really process it. And, Denise, you were asking how I was doing, and I was so touched by that. I received probably over 50 emails from estheticians out there wanting to check in and see how I was doing and share their story. I received cards in my P.O. box from estheticians who took the time out of their day to write handwritten notes just to say, I'm thinking of you. I'm sorry you're going through this. And what that brought up, besides making me feel incredibly loved and supported and surrounded by, so many amazing women in this community, it showed me the power of connection. And, we can connect on social media, and that's wonderful. And that's really an important piece, but there is a person behind that. And so when you go to these kind of events, there's kind of connection on two levels. So you can connect with other estheticians to have that support and encouragement and, someone to hold you accountable to show up. But it also kind of taught me to look at, to really like, when you post something on social media, when you show up on social media, it is your clients. There's other people that are reading that you can touch. And so I think that it was just kind of one of those aha moments, one of those Oprah moments that you don't realize, you don't get that level of connection unless you're in person, unless you can like just the ability to like give someone a hug and know that they're supported and know that like, a rising tide floats all boats. Like we as estheticians are in this together, and there's so much room for growth for so many, like everyone can have the business that they want. It's, you put the work in, you show up, educate yourself, do the work, and you will have a successful business.
Well, I think that, and people have often asked me, well, why is your events different? And I'll be like, I don't really know. I think it comes down to the intention and the way I look at things. It's the power of touch and the power of truly breathing life into your business. And by what I mean with that is that when you're not driven, I mean, we all have bills. We all have bills we have to pay. But I think there's a difference between being driven by money. Is money going to drive you? And that's what I see sometimes, that entrepreneurs, they're so driven by wanting it all and that power of money that their business has lost the heart. And I just really feel that even after 15 years, the National Aesthetic Spa Network still is that heartbeat. We still love people. We still encourage. We do a lot of things behind the scenes that nobody ever knows. And I don't brag about them. It's not something, we just do it because we care. And we want to make that impact, not just give you the tool to succeed in business, but tools to succeed in life and be content and peaceful. And I feel that new wealth is truly that body, mind, spirit.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, hey, I love money. I like making money. I've got the entrepreneur spirit. But what I've found is that and what I'm hearing from you is when you focus on service and when you focus on like, how can I be of the best value to my community? Mm-hmm. When I shifted to that, and when I shifted and from like, hey, Daniela, the entrepreneur that wants to make money because, we've got to like do this business. And when I shifted to like, how can I help you grow your business? How can it really was like when I started working one-on-one with people, my business exploded in a whole different way. And it's like, it seems like kind of the other like counterintuitive, but when you focus on service and you focus on truly like, how can I help my client reach their skincare goals? How can I make sure that their experience in my spa, they feel like, the queen of the world? They're like, just nobody is more important than they are right then at that moment. Your business will benefit incredibly and you will have more money. But if you're constantly focusing on, how can I get more clients? How can I get more people? I got to get more people in the door because I got to make more money. It's a completely different energy. And that to me is what you were saying. And what I have felt from you from so many years is that, you do really care about the estheticians and building this industry to a new level that allows everyone to have the opportunities. It's money's not, if you're just starting out, if you don't have the money to pay for coaching or courses or whatever, you can have a community in this membership. You can have a community where you can go and afford a day-long event and connect and hear educators. And, little by little, you will build your business and you will get to a place wherever you want to be. We all have different goals. Not everyone wants to be a 7-figure spa owner or
Oh, absolutely. And I think, that sometimes is learning that. And that comes with, there's one good thing about when you get a little bit older, you do get a little bit more wisdom as to what you want. when I was in my 20s, I definitely had different career goals than I did in my 30s and now in my 40s. And, maybe success to one esthetician is working 3 days a week so that they can be available for their children. Mm-hmm. Another esthetician, they may like to really, grind and do that 7-day hustle. And that for them in that season works. And there is no wrong answers. Whether you're making 30,000 or 300,000, that again, that tangible dollar, just because you're driving a Bugatti doesn't mean that you are truly happy and at peace. Mm-hmm. And so that's one of the things that I like when I speak with estheticians. Let's determine what your goal is. But we've all had the facial where we walk in and we've just been cleansed and that creaming and steaming. And there was nothing that really touched us. It was a good facial. It was technically good. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happens is we become technically good even in our businesses. It's technically good, but there's still something missing, and it's that heart.
Mm-hmm. So true. So true. Yeah. And I find, so when I'm talking with estheticians, one of the questions I usually always ask is, what do you want? Where do you want to be in 1 year from now? Mm-hmm. And so many of them don't know. And it's the most simple question. It's like, well, how do you figure out what decisions you're going to make if you have no idea where you want to go? So doing the work, looking inward, figuring out, and it takes time. I mean, in my 20s, I was all about like, what's my title? How much money am I making? And then in my 30s, I was like, whoa, it's okay if everybody doesn't like me. And it's okay if I, go through these little shifts and now I'm going to be 38 in at the time this airs, I'll be 38 in like 10 days. And so thank you. Yeah. And I honestly can say that, I feel better and better the older that I get. I feel more comfortable with who I am and I feel more clear on what I want. And so if you don't know the answer to that question, it's okay. And if it changes, it's okay. Just honor what you want to do and know that if you do want to work 3 days a week so you can spend time with your kids, that's amazing.
Yep.
And if you do want to have a $10 million a year spa, great. Mm-hmm. It's about finding out what you want. And one of the best ways, again, to kind of circle it all back is to talk with other people who have been on different paths and figure out what it really means, because there's good and bad to every single thing.
Well, and I do think, and I agree with you, I think one thing that really helps is for people to write down their goals mm-hmm. and to get really quiet, and also having a dream, whether you want to have a dream journal or a dream board, whatever you want with that, so that you can start to tangibly see. But
I've been doing this one. I love it. Rachel Hollis. I'm like so on the Rachel Hollis bandwagon every day doing my dream journals.
Well, but also I think people forget, how are they going to get to that? So mm-hmm. if you are an esthetician, you're working at a spa or even a solo entrepreneur, if you start breaking it down, how many waxes, how many facials do I need to get that vacation? Mm-hmm. Or how many waxes would it be if I wanted a housekeeper? Because people start going, I could never afford even, some of the basic extra help, or I can't afford that vacation to Hawaii. We'll break it down. What's the cost of your service? Mm-hmm. What are you actually putting in your pocket? And how many? And that will drive you to reach that goal.
Okay. You're preaching to the choir. I am the woman of spreadsheets. And, in the past, so one of my business coaches that I worked with last year, he's very into the woo-woo world, which is not really my space. But, I know a lot of estheticians are really into all of that. And I say last year I kind of dipped my toe into it, and now I'm maybe just above the knee. But you can do all of that journaling and stuff, but you've got to take action. Mm-hmm. You can't just pull angel cards and say your affirmations and then your business will be there. You've got to look at the numbers, just like you were saying, break it down, figure out what needs to happen, because this is not a build it and they will come industry.
No, I tell you, I could beat Kevin Costner with that movie. Oh, I feel like that has been the death of our industry. Just build it and it will come. No, you've got to work at it. You've got to go. And I actually, even this weekend, I took time to really determine what I wanted. And I felt like I heard going, because you haven't asked, the universe will not give to you. It's kind of like going up to Starbucks and you look at the menu and there's the barista going, okay, I'll make it for you. I'll create it for you. What do you want? And you're like, I don't know if I want a latte. I don't know if I want this. Mm-hmm. And he's like, kind of, it's the same way. So, let's say you're an esthetician and you want to make that leap into owning your own spa, and you start just kind of thinking about it, and then a year goes by. Well, you need to take some action. Write down exactly how many treatment rooms. Start to visualize, start going out and looking in the area. Mm-hmm. Make certain that it's different times of the day, because what you might see at 9:00 on Avenue D may not be what you want to see at 7 p.m. at Avenue D. So, right. You have to start taking actions, and I am a woo-woo girl. I have I'm faith-based, so I kind of do a combination of you take your stone and your Bible verse and you pray, you meditate, and then you spin around 3 times, but you've also got to do the action too.
Yeah, and you know what, for me it's like because I've always been analytical with things and, built businesses, like looking at the data, looking at the numbers, looking at the spreadsheets, like, what's our strategy? What do I need to do? That was always my thing. Like, what can I do right now to get me to the next level? But the world of woo, it's not something like, it's not going to hurt you to spend 15 minutes saying positive affirmations. It's not going to hurt you to write out 5 things that you're thankful for and 10 dreams that you made happen every day. It takes me 15 minutes and it does completely change your mindset. And yeah, I'm still out there looking at the numbers. I'm still
absolutely
still Facebook ads. I'm still learning about all of the, what's changing in social media. But I have trust because of my affirmations. I have positive, my brain is trained to be in a positive space so that, when obstacles do happen, when things come up, it's like, all right, I can handle this. I got this. And, just that, the trust that I think a lot of faith-based people have so well is the trust that everything's going to work out in your favor. Lets you not have the stress and anxiety of, oh man, I only have 3 appointments this week. How am I going to get more people? It's like, all right, I trust that I'm on the right path. Mm-hmm. This is, I'm going to, what do I need to do? But without that nervous or anxious energy that can throw people away.
I also think that people need to realize that sometimes closed doors are okay. Mm-hmm. Not every open door needs to be opened. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes when you open a door, it can lead you down a wrong path. Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do behind that closed door? Are you going to be angry? Are you going to be sad? Are you going to be anxious? Like you said, those are all energy, and then nothing can get through. So while you're behind that closed door, start to journal. Start to write down. Maybe you need to cry. It's okay to cry behind that closed door. Do some things, because behind just remember, that closed door precedes the open door.
Mm-hmm. That's so good. So good. Yeah. If you say yes to this, what are you saying no to?
Yep.
So, yeah. So, okay. So I thought we were going to talk about events. We did. We talked a lot about events, but I think we also gave some wonderful life lessons, which is just beautiful because it really is about growing as a human being, to help you learn what you want in life and then taking action to get there. So, is there anything that you want to add to this episode to make it feel complete for you? Anything you want to share?
I think that, we're so busy as women and entrepreneurs and estheticians that we need to make certain that we take that time each and every day to practice self-care And however that looks for you, whether it's in the mornings or whether it's at night, taking that bath in seaweed or salt just to, maybe remove the grime of the day, whatever it is, just to remember, and I think you said this, Danielle, is to be true to yourself, because an empty cup cannot pour. And we give so much each and every day that we have to replenish. Your health, that's your wealth. So make certain that you're taking care of yourself and taking the steps to do that. And I hope everyone will become a NASNPRO member. Yeah. It is complimentary. That is our gift to you. But there's just so many benefits to becoming a member. And if you have any questions, or if you just need an industry connection, please reach out to me. I'd love to be able to help you and chat with you and elevate you in your career and your success.
It's so wonderful. Well, you guys, we will have all of Denise's contact information in the show notes, so be sure to link it up there. Be sure to share it with other estheticians. Let them know about this free membership so that they can, save money, build their business, make connections, all of that good stuff. I will absolutely be attending one of the NASNPRO events this year. I don't know which one yet, but I will be there, probably Boston. Okay. I think that's in July, right?
It is in July.
Yes.
And, we're excited. We're going to be at the Crown Plaza. We feel like all grown up being at a big fancy hotel. And we love Boston. We've been there I think this will be our 5th year returning. And it's just the estheticians in that area are just phenomenal. They are really smart, wicked estheticians.
Yeah, I love that city. I spent 2 years there, and it was 2 years. I mean, that's not that long of a time, but I just felt so connected and loved the women that were there, loved the women that I was working with. And so, yeah, I love that city in general. So that is, I'm going to just go ahead and
absolutely
99% commit that that's going to be the one I'm at. As long as my husband's work schedule doesn't deter it, I will be there.
And we won't be worried about any inclement weather. I mean, we're not doing this in February, so there'll be no snow. There better not be snow, or I'm going to be so mad.
Yes. So if you are on the East Coast, come and see me at that one. Give me a hug. I would love to meet you. I'd love to connect with you and help support you, help you grow your business in any way that I can. So, if you want to learn more, if you want to keep this conversation going, be sure to head over to the Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group, and I will catch you guys on the next episode.
All right, great. Thanks, Daniela.